Before this video starts, I want to give a huge shout out to my 500 subscribers. Like, thank you. I never thought my YouTube channels would get me this far, but apparently you guys really like my content. So, thanks for the support. It really means a lot to me. But without further ado, let's get started with the video. You know, I've always wanted a pet when I was younger, but because I was traveling a lot, I didn't really have the time to take care of a pet properly, so I couldn't get one. So to fill that pet-shaped hole in my heart, I'm going to be building one. In Minecraft, not in real life. Considering that I've never taken care of a real-life pet, I don't really have that much experience in making one, so I decided to pull inspiration from digital pets. You know, there's stuff like Poe or Duck Life, which are very famous examples, but I took inspiration from the most classic digital pet, Tamagotchis. But in addition to not having real-life pets, I also didn't have digital ones, like, at all, so I was still going to have to do some research on this. And to put it lightly, there was a lot of stuff on the Tamagotchi wiki to go through, and after reading way too much about the children's toy and how to take care of it, I've come up with what I believe to be a suitable recreation in Minecraft. So without further ado, here it is. So this here is Tama, named after Tamagotchi, since this is Tamagotchi in Minecraft, but also after Pama, a villain in Minecraft story mode, who's also a supercomputer, except this guy's more of his more adorable younger brother, less inclined to take over the world and just wants to be healthy and happy. So a few things you need to know when taking care of Tama. You need to feed him every once in a while so it tops up his hunger. You need to clean him as well because he gets rusty, his circuits sometimes get dusty, and you want him to be running in optimal condition. You need to play with him once in a while because he needs his exercise. You know, if you feed him too much without exercising, he can get a bit on the heavier side, so you do want to burn off that fat. And you also want to keep him happy. A robot's mental health is very important, so in addition to feeding and playing with him, which will increase his happiness, sometimes he'll also be sad because these 6 buttons are his only way of interacting with the outside world, and so he doesn't actually see you, so he can get lonely. But every time he's, you know, feeling a bit down, just let him know that you're still there and that you're still taking care of him. And also, he is, you know, the younger brother of a supervillain, so he does throw a few tantrums. So when he does that, be sure to give him a bit of discipline. That way, it's a bit of tough love, but in the end, it's for his own good. And now you might be thinking, well, that's great, but how will I know if there's something wrong with him, or if he's sad, or if he needs something? And I have implemented a series of both visual and audio cues for you to know when Tama needs something. So currently, with the smile, it means he's happy and everything is fine. And when he's smiling like this, it means that you have been taking very good care of him and that he's exceptionally happy. Now let's say Tama is hungry or he needs something. Instead of smiling, he'll instead give you this expression. And this means that he is hungry or he needs his exercise. But at this point, he's not actually sick yet. He's not in a state where he's going to die. However, if he is sad, he's frowning, that either means that he's sick or he is throwing a tantrum or crying. Now you'll know if he's throwing a tantrum or crying because there'll be audio cues as well, and I'll play them for you. If he's throwing a tantrum, you will hear this. And if he's crying or is sad, he'll play this. And there you go. And yeah, that is basically how you take care of your very own Tama. Now onto the nerdy part, which is how Tama's guts work, or, you know, his brain. The most important thing to do is to focus on this circuit here. Basically, the more items that there are in this hopper, the stronger the signal, and since this is connected to hunger, the hungrier that Tama will be. Sometimes the dropper over here will dispense more items into this hopper, and that makes Tama hungrier. If you want to help out with his hunger, you're going to want to feed Tama, and when you feed him, it activates this pulse extender, resetting the hopper and therefore the hunger value. The hopper can be replaced by a dropper if, for example, I want the value to be dropped one at a time instead of reset completely. For example, like I do this with his weight value as well as his happiness value. If any of these signal strengths reach this green line, then Tama gets sick and he is placed into a critical state. When in a critical state, it causes the Shulker Box randomizer to activate periodically. It has a 1 in 7 chance of activating this contraption, which if there's an item in this hopper, it will let Tama know that it is dead, so you really don't want this to activate. And while you might assume that you could just resurrect Tama by removing that item if, you neglect him or if you are a terrible parent, don't worry. In the version that you're going to get, I will be installing a pipe bomb in him, so if you don't take care of him, he'll take care of you. As for his tantrums, how it works is that there is a hopper clock, and this torch will pulse periodically, causing the item from move to hopper, and the item will activate these comparators, and every time one of these is activated, it will send a signal through this redstone line, which activates a pulse extender. Now this pulse extender will then activate one half of an AND gate, and this gives the player an opportunity to activate the other half, which will cause the redstone torch to activate, and this will increase his discipline level. And what this discipline level does is that as it grows higher, more and more of these repeaters will get powered, and these repeaters basically lock these comparators, which means that normally when Tama would be having a tantrum, they wouldn't because their discipline level is high. Same goes for the circuit which makes him sad, but instead of having this whole complicated hopper thing, it's just it will just randomly activate the pulse extender. For the low price of the link in the description, you can take care of your very own Tama today. If you don't, he does have access to intercontinental nuclear warheads, so there's something to consider. And that's about it. Thank you guys so much for 500 subs. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe. Bye-bye.